Today is Thursday, August 21st. We'll tell you where things stand with Hurricane Erin, now bringing severe weather to the East Coast. Also, the new election map in Texas finally came to a vote, and the southern border wall is getting a makeover. Plus, why the federal government is suing LA Fitness. All about the new phones, watch, earbuds, and AI Google unveiled this week, and how Sorority Rush has once again taken over TikTok. Those stories and even more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Hurricane Erin is making its closest approach to the American East Coast. It's still developing now, but as we record, tens of millions of people are under flood advisories. Powerful waves of 15 to 20 feet are expected to slam coastlines, especially in North Carolina. And swimming is now discouraged at most beaches from Florida to Maine. Dozens of people who have defied those warnings have had to be rescued. This morning, North Carolina could also be hit by tropical storm force winds that could later impact Maryland and Virginia as well. Hurricane Erin is expected to start weakening tonight or tomorrow, but it's still expected to stay a hurricane into the weekend. Meanwhile, the other side of the country is dealing with a dangerous heat wave. Near record temperatures are expected across much of California and other parts of the Southwest. Los Angeles is actually expected to see the hottest stretch of days so far this summer. Of course, out west, that means wildfires could be more likely. So firefighters and other resources are being deployed early, so they're in place if fires break out. The Texas House passed Republicans' controversial new election map, despite weeks of back and forth, complete with a Democratic walkout and Republican retaliation. The state Senate is expected to approve the map as soon as tonight, then send it to Governor Greg Abbott to sign by the end of the week. And with that, President Trump will likely get 5 new GOP seats in the U.S. House next year, just as he requested. As you know, everything that's happened in Texas has also kicked off a flurry of other redistricting battles coast to coast. The California legislature is now expected to vote today on a newly drawn map meant to flip as many as 5 seats over to Democrats. Though for California, the changes would still have to be approved by voters in November, and that's not the case for Texas. Besides Texas and California, Trump and his allies have been looking to Republican states like Indiana, Missouri, and Florida to secure even more seats. And Democratic leaders are looking at places like Illinois, Maryland, and New York. All of this could impact who controls the U.S. House after what are expected to be very close midterm elections next year. 3 U.S. Navy warships with thousands of American military personnel are now on a mission to block drug cartels off the coast of South America. Reuters cites sources who say the American military will operate in international airspace and waters for several months, and it's possible the U.S. could launch targeted strikes. This all puts the U.S. at odds with leaders like Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. But of course, that's nothing new. The U.S. Justice Department accuses Maduro of being one of the world's largest narcotics traffickers and of working with cartels to flood the U.S. with cocaine. And earlier this month, the DOJ doubled its award for information leading to Maduro's arrest to $50 million. The Venezuelan government denies any wrongdoing. And earlier this week, Maduro said he would deploy more than 4.5 million militia members around the country, saying he's protecting Venezuela from American threats. To be continued. The Trump administration has a plan for the U.S.-Mexico border that's surprisingly simple. It's painting the border fence black to make the steel so hot that migrants won't climb it. More miles of fence are also being added because of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and they'll all be black as well. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says this is all part of creating what she calls the most secure border in our nation's history. Of course, there will still be challenges. Some smugglers have already taken to throwing rope ladders over the fence. Others are even tunneling under it. Still, Customs and Border Protection says illegal crossings have fallen dramatically under the Trump administration, and that trend should continue with this change. Meanwhile, the U.S. keeps opening more migrant detention centers. Nebraska's governor is the latest Republican to announce plans to use an existing prison work camp to house people waiting to be deported, or those being held for other immigration proceedings. The facility is now being called the Cornhusker Clink. Over the weekend, the Trump administration also opened what it calls the largest federal immigration detention center. That one in Texas is being called Lone Star Lockup. As we've mentioned, Florida also has Alligator Alcatraz and new plans for the deportation depot. And Indiana is building the so-called Speedway Slammer. Critics argue there hasn't been enough transparency about what's actually going on at these centers, since a couple have already been accused of holding migrants in poor living conditions and denying them due process. They say the country should use the money for other issues like homelessness and child hunger. Either way, even more are expected to be announced soon. President Trump is once again trying to influence the makeup of the Federal Reserve. This time he's targeting a Fed governor who has voted many times not to cut interest rates despite Trump's public pressure. Trump wrote on social media that Lisa Cook should, quote, resign now. He cited allegations of mortgage fraud, saying Cook claimed 2 homes as her primary residence in mortgage applications, and lenders often give better terms for loans on someone's primary home. Cook responded by saying she would answer any questions about her financial history, but that she won't be bullied into stepping down from her position. Of course, this comes as the president is in the middle of a high-pressure campaign to get the central bank to lower interest rates. Trump has also said he'd love to see Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell resign. Tomorrow, Powell is speaking at the annual Economic Symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. His speech will be closely watched by investors, policymakers, or really anyone who wants to get a clue as to when interest rates might come down. Stay tuned. More news still coming up, but first, thanks to our sponsor, Cook Unity. Dinner can easily become a struggle between something healthy or something fast, but Cook Unity lets me have both. I've enjoyed a tangy Parmesan-crusted tilapia and a Mediterranean grilled shrimp grain bowl with bright, fresh flavors. They give me flavors and nutrition that I couldn't, or at least wouldn't, make on my own. And each one felt like a chef-prepared dish, because they were. Cook Unity is not a meal kit. These are ready-to-eat meals freshly made by award-winning chefs, delivered straight to your door. So you just heat them up in minutes. I appreciated the variety, too. With over 300 meals that rotate weekly, there is always something new to try. And since you can filter by cuisine, protein, or dietary need in the app, it's easy to match whatever you're craving. Plus, every ingredient tastes fresh and balanced. It's an easy way to eat well without feeling like you're making sacrifices or spending a ton of time. Fuel your day with the freshest, best-tasting meal delivery made by award-winning chefs. Go to cookunity.com/newsworthyfree or enter code newsworthyfree before checkout for free premium meals for life. That's free premium meals for life by using code newsworthyfree or going to cookunity.com/newsworthyfree. Now back to the news. The White House is now on TikTok. The Trump administration launched its official account this week to spread the president's messages. It comes less than a month before Trump's latest deadline for the social media app to either find a new owner or face a nationwide ban. The very first video of the White House posted was a 27-second montage of President Trump, overlaid with audio from his acceptance speech at the 2016 Republican National Convention. It drew more than 90,000 views in just over an hour. The federal government is now suing a major gym chain. The FTC filed a lawsuit against the operator of LA Fitness, saying it's too hard for people to cancel their gym memberships. It says tens of thousands of customers have reported having some kind of trouble since they have so many hoops to jump through. And because of that, it says the gym's operators illegally charge them hundreds of millions of dollars. But the fitness company says all the allegations are without merit and that actually they launched an online cancellation process years ago. So they'll be fighting the lawsuit in court. The fitness company has more than 600 locations with more than 3.7 million members around the country. Your Amazon shopping cart can now include used cars from Hertz. The rental car company has started selling its vehicles directly to Amazon shoppers. Buyers can browse cars and complete their purchase on the website. Then they can pick up their new vehicle at locations in Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, and Seattle. It plans to eventually expand pickup sites to 45 locations around the U.S., offering used vehicles from brands like Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Nissan. Amazon actually started selling new cars last year through an arrangement with Hyundai, but customers still have to use a Hyundai dealer to complete those sales. Amazon is still recruiting other auto dealers now. New phones, watches, earbuds, and AI features were all revealed at yesterday's Made by Google event. First up was the newest generation of Google phones. There will be 3 Pixel 10 versions to choose from, including one folding option that's supposed to be water and dust resistant. The latest Pixel Watch includes new fitness options like real-time guidance while you're exercising. It's also the only smartwatch that will call emergency services automatically if the wearer's pulse stops. Plus, Google unveiled new Pixel earbuds that are smaller, lighter, and more affordable than previous versions. As far as artificial intelligence upgrades, Google announced Magic Queue on new Pixel phones. It can look through your messages, emails, and photos to pull details about things like restaurant reservations and flight times. There's also Camera Coach that makes suggestions for how to improve your photos before you actually take them. And Google says many more new AI features are still on the horizon. The PGA Tour announced a new committee meant to modernize professional golf, and it's being led by Tiger Woods. PGA says this committee is being tasked with reimagining the very basics of the tour's competitive model. Possible changes could include fewer events, smaller fields, and higher stakes, all to get the biggest golfers playing together more often. As Woods put it, nothing's off the table. Of course, all of this comes as the PGA Tour is competing for fans and talent with the Saudi-backed league Live Golf that's already attracted big stars. For now, the PGA Tour puts on 36 events that count toward the playoffs that all lead to the Tour Championship. And this year's Tour Championship is actually kicking off today. It features the top 30 players in the FedEx Cup standings, with Scottie Scheffler leading the pack. The Tour Championship takes place at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia, and it wraps up this Sunday. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Thing to Know Thursday. But first, thanks to our sponsor, OneSkin. When it comes to skincare, I want products that do more than just moisturize. I want them to really support my skin long term. And that's why I turned to OneSkin. I started with their face and eye formulas, and they quickly became part of my everyday routine. The texture feels great, the ingredients are science-backed, and I love knowing they're working at the cellular level to keep my skin looking and feeling healthy. And now I've been using their OS1 Hair Scalp Serum too, because caring for your scalp is skincare. And for me, it's about giving my hair the best chance to stay strong, healthy, and thick as I get older. In fact, OneSkin scientists did a clinical study showing that after 6 months, participants had significantly thicker and denser hair. It's the same innovation powering their skincare, now used for hair. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using the code NEWSWORTHY at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with the code NEWSWORTHY. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, so please support our show and tell them we sent you. Now back to Thing to Know Thursday. Incoming college freshmen are taking over social media as they document the intense sorority recruitment process known as Rush Week. On TikTok, it comes with its own hashtag, RushTalk. It started in 2021 with students who wanted to join competitive sororities at the University of Alabama, mostly showing off what they'd be wearing during Rush Week. Now, students do the same all over the country, though mostly in the South. The hashtag RushTalk has gotten more than 1.5 billion views from all around the world. The videos now show not only outfits, but also choreographed dance routines and other recruitment experiences. And it's possible they're boosting an interest in Greek life. Recruitment registrations have gone up 13% since 2022. But there is a negative side. The trend has sparked discussions about beauty standards, inclusivity, and commercialization. So some sororities actually are not letting their prospects post anymore, saying they need to protect recruits from harassment online. Either way, it's become a highly anticipated event to behold each year. And the online attention to Rush has led to new books, a documentary, and an actual reality TV series. So hashtag RushTalk is not going away anytime soon. Thank you so much for listening today and for making us part of your daily routine. You can further support our work here if you'd like and get access to ad-free episodes while you're at it by becoming a Newsworthy Insider. Start your free trial at thenewsworthy.com/insider, and Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to episodes of The Newsworthy ad-free in the Wondery app. We'll catch you up on more news to know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.